Have you ever been rejected by someone you truly cared about, only to have them come back into your life later on? It's confusing, it's hurtful, and it can leave you wondering, why now? What's really going on in their mind? In this video, we're going to uncover the truth behind why women who rejected you might come back. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. Stay tuned, because understanding this could change everything for you. Number 1. They've had time to reflect sometimes. When a woman rejects you, it's not because she never had feelings for you. It's because, at that moment, she thought she was making the right decision. Maybe she was focused on her career, dealing with personal issues, or simply unsure about what she wanted in a partner. But time has a way of revealing the truth. After stepping away, she starts to reflect on what she had with you. Maybe she realizes that the excitement of new connections doesn't compare to the emotional depth and security she felt with you. Perhaps she thought the grass was greener on the other side, only to discover that what she left behind was actually rare and valuable. During this reflection, she starts replaying memories, the way you treated her, the conversations you had, the support you provided. She might compare you to the people she's met since, and suddenly she sees the difference. Maybe she thought you were too nice, too available, or not exciting enough at the time. But after dealing with men who don't communicate well, don't show consistency, or don't genuinely care about her, she realizes that what she had with you wasn't so easy to replace. It's also possible that she rejected you because she was influenced by her friends, social media, or her own unrealistic expectations. Society often pushes the idea that there's always something better out there. But after experiencing disappointment, she begins to see things from a different perspective. She may have assumed she had all the time in the world to find something better, only to realize that quality connections don't come around every day. Now, she's looking back and thinking, did I make a mistake? Another factor that makes her reflect is personal growth. People change, priorities shift, and what seemed important before might not hold the same weight anymore. Maybe she was chasing a certain type of lifestyle or ideal, but now she's matured and understands what truly matters in a relationship. And as she's evolving, she realizes that you had qualities she overlooked: loyalty, emotional intelligence, stability. These things become more attractive over time, especially if she's had experiences with people who lacked them. Her friends might also play a role in this realization. Maybe they remind her of how happy she was when she was around you, or they subtly mention that she let go of a good guy. Women talk, and sometimes a simple conversation with a friend who sees the bigger picture can make her rethink everything. She might also see you thriving without her, whether that's through social media or mutual connections. If you've leveled up in your life, whether emotionally, financially, or physically, that can trigger feelings of regret. The key thing to remember is that when she rejected you, she probably didn't expect to have this change of heart. But time has a way of making people see things differently. The question now is, are you still the same person she walked away from, or have you grown into someone even better? And more importantly, do you even want her back now that she's had this realization? Number 2, they're testing your reaction. Women who rejected you before sometimes try to come back, just to test how you'll react. This isn't always about genuine interest. Sometimes it's about curiosity, validation, or even power dynamics. They want to see if you've moved on, if you still crave their attention, or if you'll immediately welcome them back with open arms. It's a psychological test, often subconscious, to measure their influence over you. If a woman knows she can reject you, disappear, and then return whenever she wants, only to find you still eager and available, she confirms her control over the situation. Many women do this to gauge your self-respect. If you instantly take her back with no hesitation, she might lose even more interest, realizing that you lack backbone. On the other hand, if you respond indifferently or show that you've grown beyond the situation, it can shift the power dynamic entirely. She might even start chasing you. That's because confidence, emotional control, and self-respect are attractive. The moment she sees that you're not emotionally dependent on her approval, she may start viewing you differently. This kind of test often happens when she notices you're doing well without her. Maybe you've improved yourself, leveled up in life, or started dating someone else. Suddenly she wants to pop back in and see if she still holds any influence over you. It's not always malicious. Sometimes people don't even realize they're doing it. But make no mistake, if she left you before and now she's returning, there's a reason. Women rarely circle back out of pure accident. They come back because they're either curious, feeling regret, or just trying to validate themselves by seeing if they still have access to your energy. So, how should you react when a woman who rejected you tries to come back? Simple. Don't fall into the trap of immediately giving her what she wants. Stay composed. Act as if her return isn't a big deal. This doesn't mean you have to be rude or dismissive, but don't be overly eager either. Show her through your actions that your life has continued without her and that you're perfectly fine. If she's genuinely interested, she'll prove it through consistent effort. But if she's just testing you for validation, she'll quickly lose interest once she sees you're no longer an easy option. At the end of the day, the way you react to this situation determines whether she truly respects you. If you immediately fold and let her back in without question, you're signaling that she can come and go as she pleases. But if you hold your ground and make her work for your attention, you flip the script. You become the one in control, and in the game of attraction, that makes all the difference. Number 3. They've moved on and realized you were a good option. It's a classic scenario. She rejected you, moved on to someone else, and now, out of nowhere, she's back in your life, acting like she never left. At first, it might seem like fate is giving you another shot, but let's be real, this isn't some grand love story. What's happening here is simple. She moved on, thought she had found something better, but eventually realized that you were actually a great option, and now she wants back in. Women, just like men, make choices based on what they think is best for them at the time. When she rejected you, it wasn't necessarily because you weren't good enough. It was because she believed there was something better out there. Maybe she was chasing a guy who seemed more exciting, more successful, or just different. Maybe she was in a phase of her life where she wanted to explore her options, and you were seen as too safe or predictable. Whatever the reason, she left, and in her mind, she was upgrading. But here's the thing, reality doesn't always match expectations. That guy she chose over you, he might have been fun at first, but then she started noticing the red flags. Maybe he lacked emotional maturity, treated her like an option, or never truly valued her the way you did. Maybe she got played, used, or simply realized that what she thought she wanted wasn't what she needed. And that's when the regret starts creeping in. She begins to reflect on the time she had with you, the stability, the respect, the way you genuinely cared. She remembers how you listened, how you made her feel safe, and how you had real potential. And suddenly, you don't seem so boring or predictable anymore. You seem like the guy she should have chosen in the first place. That's when she reaches out, testing the waters, trying to gauge if you're still available. She might start with a casual, "Hey, how have you been?" or like one of your old photos just to get your attention. The moment you engage, she knows she still has a shot. Now, the real question is, should you take her back? That depends on you. Understand that if she truly valued you from the start, she wouldn't have walked away. her coming back isn't necessarily about love. It's about realizing she made a mistake and wanting to correct it. But here's the harsh truth. You were her backup plan. You weren't her first choice, and now that her other options didn't work out, she's looking at you differently. Do you really want to be someone's second option? That's why self-respect is key. If she left thinking she could do better, and now she's back only because she couldn't find what she was looking for, then you have to decide if you're okay with that. You have to ask yourself, is she coming back because she genuinely cares, or just because she's settling? If she truly realizes your worth and is willing to prove she's changed, that's one thing. But if she's only coming back because she's lonely, bored, or out of options, you deserve better. At the end of the day, you need to remember that your value isn't determined by whether or not she finally sees it. You were always a great option. You didn't suddenly become better just because she changed her mind. So if a woman who rejected you is now trying to come back, take a step back and think. Don't let nostalgia or old feelings cloud your judgment. Make a choice that honors your worth, not one that settles for someone else's regret. Number 4, they're experiencing regret or loneliness. There's a strange irony in life. You wanted her, she didn't want you. You moved on, but now she's trying to come back. One of the biggest reasons for this sudden return is regret or loneliness. When a woman rejects you, she might have been in a different phase of her life, chasing excitement, exploring other options, or just not seeing your value at the time. Maybe she thought she could do better. Maybe she was blinded by the idea of something new, or maybe she simply wasn't ready for what you had to offer. But time has a way of revealing the truth. At first, she might have felt confident in her decision to let you go. She might have met someone else, entertained other possibilities, or enjoyed the thrill of being single. But as reality settles in, she starts to realize that what she had with you wasn't as easily replaceable as she thought. Maybe the guys she chose over you weren't as kind, loyal, or stable. Maybe she faced heartbreak herself, and suddenly, memories of you, the one who treated her right, start creeping back in. That's when regret kicks in. She starts wondering, did I make a mistake? Did I let go of someone who actually cared about me? The same woman who once pushed you away now finds herself scrolling through your social media, reminiscing about the moments she once took for granted. Loneliness plays a huge role in this shift. Human nature craves connection, and when she doesn't find the emotional depth she once shared with you, the emptiness becomes unbearable. Maybe she's tired of meaningless flings, tired of games, tired of guys who don't put in effort. The idea of being alone, especially when she sees you thriving without her, starts haunting her. If she sees you happy, improving yourself, or even attracting other women, the fear of missing out intensifies. She starts to wonder, what if he moves on for good? What if I never find someone like him again? That's when she reaches out, trying to rekindle what she once dismissed. But here's the thing, you have to ask yourself, is she coming back because she truly values you now? Or is she just trying to fill the void? Regret and loneliness are powerful emotions, but they don't always mean love. Sometimes people just want comfort. They want a familiar place to escape their bad decisions. So, before you let her back in, take a moment to evaluate her intentions. Is she here because she realizes your worth, or is she just looking for a temporary fix to her loneliness? The choice is yours. Number 5, they want closure or friendship. Sometimes, a woman who once rejected you tries to come back into your life, not because she suddenly realized you're the one, but because she wants closure or friendship. This can be confusing, especially if you had strong feelings for her. But to understand her actions, you need to look at things from her perspective. When she rejected you, it wasn't necessarily because she disliked you. There could have been personal reasons. Maybe she wasn't ready for a relationship. Maybe she was dealing with other things in life. or maybe she just didn't see the spark at that moment. However, time changes perspectives. After rejecting you, she might have reflected on your presence in her life and realized you were someone who genuinely cared about her. Maybe she started missing your company, your emotional support, or even just the way you made her feel special. But does that mean she wants a romantic relationship now? Not necessarily. Sometimes she just wants to tie up loose ends, understand what she walked away from, or even maintain a connection with someone she values in a different way. For many women, emotional closure is important. If she rejected you harshly or cut things off abruptly, she might feel guilty about how things ended. She may not have handled the situation well, and now she wants to make amends. This is her way of clearing her conscience and ensuring that there's no bad blood between you. But here's where you need to be careful. If you still have feelings for her, getting back in touch might reopen old wounds. You might interpret her attempt at closure as an opportunity for a second chance, but in reality, she may just want to heal her own emotions and move on. Another common reason she comes back is friendship. Women value emotional connections deeply, and if you were someone she trusted and enjoyed being around, she may not want to lose that bond. Even if romance isn't in the equation, she might believe you're mature enough to remain in her life platonically. But the big question is, are you? Can you handle being just friends with someone you once wanted a romantic relationship with? Can you watch her date other men and confide in you about it without feeling hurt? If not, then this is something you need to think about before letting her back in. The key thing to remember is that her return doesn't automatically mean she regrets rejecting you or that she wants to be with you now. It's up to you to decide whether reopening that chapter is worth it. If you've moved on and are in a good place emotionally, you might be able to reconnect without any baggage. But if you still have unresolved feelings, allowing her back into your life could be a step backward. Always prioritize your own emotional well-being over the comfort of someone who once let you go. Number 6. They want validation. Rejection stings. It's a blow to the ego, a hit to your confidence, and sometimes it makes you question your own worth. But what happens when the same woman who once turned you down suddenly tries to come back into your life? It might feel like a second chance, but in many cases, it's not about love, attraction, or even regret. It's about validation. Women, just like men, have insecurities. They might reject you in the moment because they feel they have better options. They're unsure about you, or they're simply caught up in the attention they're getting from others. But what happens when time passes and those options don't work out? Maybe the guy they chose over you turned out to be a disappointment. Maybe the attention they were getting has faded and they no longer feel as desired as they once did. And that's when they start looking back at you, not necessarily because they want a relationship, but because they want to feel wanted again. It's human nature. We all crave validation in some way. For some women, knowing that a guy is still interested in them, even after they rejected him, boosts their ego. It reassures them that they still have it, that they're still desirable. It's not about love, it's about their need to feel wanted. And if you're not careful, you might mistake that need for genuine interest. She may start liking your social media posts out of nowhere. Maybe she slides into your DMs with a casual, "Hey, how have you been?" as if she never walked away in the first place. Or she might bump into you and act like she suddenly realizes what she missed out on. But here's the harsh truth. If she truly valued you, she wouldn't have let you go in the first place. She wouldn't need time apart to see your worth. What she's really after is reassurance. She wants to know that if she ever wanted you, you'd still be there. And that's where a lot of guys make mistakes. When a woman who rejected you suddenly comes back around, it's easy to feel flattered. You might think she's had a change of heart, that she finally sees your value. But before you let yourself fall for that illusion, ask yourself this: why now? What changed? Did she suddenly realize you're a great guy? Or is she just in need of attention and validation? Because if it's the latter, as soon as she gets that validation, she'll disappear again. She doesn't want to be with you. She wants to know she could be with you if she wanted. And that's a dangerous game to play. You see, when someone rejects you, they make a choice. They decide in that moment that you're not what they're looking for. If their feelings were real, rejection wouldn't be part of the equation. So when they try to come back, it's rarely because they suddenly developed real emotions for you. It's because something in their life isn't going the way they expected, and they're looking for an ego boost. Maybe they're feeling insecure. Maybe they just got rejected themselves. Maybe they see you doing better without them, and they can't stand the idea of you moving on before they do. And that's where you need to be careful. The moment you give them the validation they're looking for, whether it's replying to their messages, entertaining their flirty behavior, or making them feel like they still have a place in your heart, you're giving them exactly what they want. But once they get that reassurance, they no longer need you. It's like feeding a stray cat. It'll keep coming back for food, but it'll never stay for good. So, what should you do? The answer is simple. Don't give them that power. If a woman rejected you, respect that rejection. Move on, focus on yourself, and build a life that makes you happy, without needing anyone else's approval. Because the truth is, the right person won't need to reject you first to realize your worth. The right person will see it from the start. If she truly regrets rejecting you, she'll show it in actions, not just words. She won't just slide back into your life casually, she'll put in real effort. But if all she wants is a quick ego boost, you'll notice a pattern. She comes back when she needs attention, but disappears when she gets it. Don't fall for the trap. Know your value, and don't let anyone use you just to feel better about themselves, because you deserve more than that. Number 7, they've changed their perspective on relationships. Have you ever noticed that a woman who once rejected you suddenly starts showing interest again? It might leave you confused, wondering why she changed her mind. One major reason is that she has shifted her perspective on relationships. When she first turned you down, she might have been in a different phase of life. Maybe she was focused on her career, healing from a past relationship, or simply not ready for something serious. But as time passed, her experiences, maturity, and emotional state evolved, causing her to reevaluate what she truly wants in a partner. Many women reject good men simply because they don't realize their value at the time. Maybe she was chasing a certain type of guy, someone exciting, mysterious, or even emotionally unavailable. But after experiencing heartbreak or disappointment with those choices, she starts to understand that qualities like loyalty, emotional stability, and kindness matter more in the long run. If you were the nice guy she overlooked, she might now see you as the kind of man she actually needs. Her past experiences have reshaped her understanding of love, making her reconsider the way she initially judged you. Another reason her perspective might have changed is due to societal and personal pressures. In her younger years, she might have had unrealistic expectations about relationships, influenced by social media, movies, or peer pressure. She might have thought she needed a perfect guy who checks off every superficial box. But as she matures, she realizes that real relationships are about connection, trust, and emotional security, rather than just surface-level attraction or social status. She may now see you as someone who represents the stability she overlooked before. Additionally, time has a way of revealing what truly matters. Maybe she rejected you during a phase when she thought she had endless options, but after a few heartbreaks and disappointments, she starts to appreciate qualities she previously took for granted. She may have also seen you move on and grow into a better version of yourself, making her question whether she made a mistake by letting you go. The idea of losing a good man forever can be a wake-up call, pushing her to reconsider her past decision. It's also possible that her priorities have shifted. Early in life, some women prioritize adventure, excitement, or even status over emotional connection. But as they gain life experience, they realize that long-term happiness comes from a partner who is reliable, emotionally intelligent, and genuinely cares about them. If she sees that you embody those qualities, she may start thinking about what she lost when she walked away. It's not that she's playing games, it's that she's finally seeing things clearly. However, just because she's coming back doesn't mean you have to take her back. You need to ask yourself whether her change in perspective is genuine or if she's simply looking for comfort after failed relationships. Does she truly see your worth now, or is she just afraid of being alone? If she's sincere, she'll acknowledge why she overlooked you in the past and show you through her actions, not just words, that she's ready to value you in the way she should have before. At the end of the day, people grow, and their understanding of love evolves. Sometimes a rejection isn't about you, it's about where she was in life at the time, and sometimes a second chance can lead to something real and lasting. But before you let her back in, make sure she's not just looking for a safety net, because a woman who truly values you won't wait until it's convenient. She'll recognize your worth from the start. If you've ever experienced this, whether you've been the one rejected or the one coming back, drop a comment below and let's talk about it. What do you think makes someone want to reconnect after rejection? I'd love to hear your thoughts and personal experiences. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful, and subscribe for more insights into relationships and personal growth. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.